And that's it. You'll be amazed that people are looking at you. People are seeing you. You don't know it, but people know. And there's no way you can hide it from. I was somewhere and I was holding a very sensitive position where if it was in me, I would have, I would have done a lot. I don't know if people know that speech. I would have done a lot. Let me just put it that way. I was in charge of the welfare of 159 people. And if I was not a very honest person, I would have done so many things. But because I knew that I am a career person, I have in focus where I'm going. I don't want how much can I possibly get from this that will make me put my future at stake. It's never worth it. Do you understand? And for that reason, that becomes my motivation. I look at where I'm going to when temptations come. I look at, okay, is this thing worth me tarnishing my image? The answer is always no, because I have very big dreams for myself. So you should also have great ethics and very big dreams for yourself. I'm sure most of us here are parents. I'm sure most of us here have children. Yeah. And if you have children, you want to be that role model that your children will see. When you become parents, there are some things you used to do that you stop doing. Because you know that these children, they are not just listening to what you say. What are you doing? You can imagine if one day you are in your house and open this door and it's police and it's because of fraud. You can imagine the kind of trauma those children will have. You don't want to be the one to cause trauma for your children. But you want to be able to hit your chest and tell them that living upright, good name to the best legacy. If tomorrow I am no longer here, but you can walk into somewhere and say I am the child of so person, and because of you, doors are open for your children, then you have lived a fulfilled life. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yes. Then you have lived a fulfilled life. Yes, money is important. I will not lie to you and say money is not important. Money is important. Money helps us achieve many things. In fact, money is a vehicle. Do you understand? But then it is not worth us selling our souls for. Do we understand? It is not worth it at all. So my task to us, even as we go on, is that honesty, integrity should be our watchword as salespersons. Okay, so now we are the legal framework. I mentioned earlier that there will be a legal framework. There's a legal framework in which every law enforcer banks on when they are acting. They don't just act because to be like there's a backing. And those backings are written down. First, I'll talk about the Nigerian Constitution, the 1999 Constitution. Section 11 gives power, it vests power in the National Assembly to make laws to ensure that public order and safety is maintained. When somebody is under the influence of drugs, the person is not acting on his or her own anymore. The person does not have the ability to make wise decisions. Yes, the person may be able to overcome intimidation or overcome fear, or maybe the person needs to talk to people and is having stage fright, or the person is scared, which we all go through. We all go through this feeling. But a courageous person is not somebody who does not face fear. A courageous person is somebody who does it despite being afraid. So don't think that I'm afraid, so I only need a fear. Not the only need the fear. Not the only you they go through those things. It is not only you, we all do. We all do. But then, the first step is always the hardest. Once you are able to take the first step, every other one becomes easy. I'm actually tempted to say praise the Lord. I'm just holding myself back. Okay, so National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. I'm sure you know about NDLEA, yes. They are the ones that go after culprits. People, and this section 4 gives them the right to arrest, to investigate, to prosecute drug-related matters. So say no, I know they sell, I they use, they will still catch you. I know they use that they sell, they will catch you. Worst of it, trafficking. There's a particular kilos that they will see with you that they will consider you a trafficker. So don't do it. It's always best. What any problem that one is going through that money can solve, you should be thanking God. That thank God that money can solve. It's now for me to look for how a legal way to get this money. Okay? So we talk about if there's Indian hemp decree, there's dangerous. This Indian hemp decree was by Major Abu Rosti. Yes. He was the one, he said, in fact, you know, some people plant. They plant all these things. They are found cultivating, using anyone, and then it was a military rule. So you can imagine the kind of strict penalties that they issue. Then, of course, Police Act, Section 4, gives all the power to investigate and arrest and prosecute any crime or criminal. Criminal Code, Section 29. Why I brought in this criminal code is because when somebody commits an offense, in law, they are usually defensive. You know that popular section in the Constitution that says you are presumed innocent until you are found guilty. That section gives you the right to bring your defense. It gives you the right to defend yourself in the court of law. And in certain circumstances, intoxication can be seen as a defense. But not when you voluntarily intoxicated yourself. So Section 29 is saying for voluntary intoxication, not that maybe somebody was drugged. Voluntary intoxication, you went and took something or you drank up to the extent that you caused public nuisance, that you were intoxicated is not an excuse. Then we have labor and factory laws, which charges our organization with the right to summarily try and dismiss anybody found wanting when it has to do with drug abuse. That means, you know, maybe your organization, your company, maybe their law is that if they want to start someone, they have to give maybe 1 month notice, maybe 2 months, maybe for some 3 months, depending. But you see, when it has to do with drug abuse, legal law says they should try the person immediately and tell the person out, oh yeah, carry your phone, go. No benefit, nothing at all, no explanation, just go. They have that right. And you can imagine you going to work in the morning. God forbid. God forbid. Imagine you going to work in the morning and by evening, there is nothing again. And it's not that you plan it. You know, there are times that you feel like, today I have better plans, I'm ending my resignation proudly. Even your company will be happy that, you know, you are progressing, you are making progress. But in a situation whereby God no go shame us. Please say God no go shame us. God no go shame us. Amen. Then for fraud, we still have the criminal code section 419. I've talked about it. Minimum years in prison is 7 lost years. And it's not even just about that. Maybe I'll still get to it. But let me just mention. You know, you can an ex-convict. You know it's a term, right? There are so many things an ex-convict cannot do. The person will be blacklisted. You go here, no show, you go there, no show. Because you are going through a challenge on zero, that becomes a challenge. When nobody wants to associate with you. And say you know big man, it is not when you have messed up in this way. Even big man does not want to drag his name in the mud. I assure you. You know it is success that has many siblings, not failure. So if big man, all you do for the big man that you have is to always make him to be begging. To be begging people is not supposed to beg. Oga, abeg, I know me now. Na devil is always the devil. And then you have to force him, maybe because he owes you one or two favor, he's calling and say, please, that my boy, that my girl, please, abeg. No big man likes that. But if you are bringing him honor, every opportunity that he has, he always put this person. This person is faithful. This person is loyal. This person is loyal. And let me tell you people one other thing. You know all of you are together like this and you are working, you know yourself very well. If I come and tell you about this person, you will have an idea of what you can do and what you cannot do here. Do you understand? And that is it, because in the next 10 years, everybody here may not be here. You people would have, one or two things you would have put your hand. But you always remember one person. No, this person, I have somebody that can do this. Let me see if she's available at the moment. And that's how you recommend yourself to each other. So don't even look at yourself as, what can this one do for me? No. No, everybody is important and we need each other. So when you are doing what you are doing, even if the authority does not know, your people, they know. And one day, word set around, where you would have gotten favor. It is now somebody that is known, but the person knows you and knows that you are not qualified to sit in that place. The person will say, I know this person, but I will not advise you. And when somebody is talking like that, you use your tongue and counter to that. Let me be careful. Penal code from section 320 to 324 talks about misrepresentation, forgery, cheating, any of them that you are found wanting, you will be dealt with. Economic and Financial Crime Act talks about fraud, yes, whether online or offline. Once fraud is committed, there's Cyber Crime Act, there's Money Laundering, Companies and Allied Matters Act. It's very key on invoice inflation. Everything just brings disrepute both to you as an individual and to your company. Then we have the Nigerian Police Act, same section 4, gives us power in cases of fraud. So now, case study. I want us to look at this possible, situation that can occur. I'm going to read the words. It says that Mr. Jani working with ex-resident read checkers. Okay, let's check out. Mr. Jani working with checkers, Nigeria Limited, right? African, West Africa, okay. Mr. Jani working with checkers, African Limited. African has just been promoted to the position of the regional sales manager. After a strong performance of improving sales and increasing revenue for the company, he had a promising career. Unfortunately, he felt the pressure of the job was high, then he was having issues at home, marriage. Yeah, I guess we're talking about marriage just before we came here. So you can imagine the challenges that come with marriage. He sees the pressure from what he sees. He was looking for an escape. But back home, his friend advised him if you're taking drugs, just take and be cool, chill, forget your problems. Soon the drugs became limited in supply because these drugs are not easy to come by. They are mostly illegal. And because they're illegal, people hide. And anything that you're hiding to do is expensive. Do you understand? Anything that you hide from you will definitely be expensive. So, Mr. Jenny resulted in diverting sales funds to sustain his drug purchase. Hoping to replace the money. Remember, not be saying one thing from just the borrower, small. He kept borrowing the money without permission. This continued for 3 months until an audit revealed the missing funds. He was caught Any Mr. Ajani here? Ajani, not Ajani. Oh, okay, thank God. Nobody don't have this Ajani. But what do we think Mr. Ajani should have done differently after the more pressure that was coming to him? How do you think he should have handled the situation better? Anybody? How? How would we have avoided pressure? Because you know there are some things that you cannot control. Better advice. But what will you consider a better advice? Sorry, what will you something? Okay, yeah. You should have gone to his line manager to explain to him that these are the challenges that I'm going through. Is there a way you can be of help to me at the moment? A reasonable line manager will say, okay, what do we do? Should I take some of the load off you at the moment? How long do you need me to take this load off? That is how the working environment operates. You understand the challenge because, like I said, we all have life challenges. We all have similar challenges. There are times that it's also the line manager that is going through pressure from the top that if the people are not delivering. So if this person is telling you, I'm having serious challenges at the moment, it means that burdening him can never do anything. Okay, you know what? Give me some of these your people. Let me be handling for the next 2 months for you. While you do this, don't worry, I'll do it for you. That's humanitarian. Okay? Any other idea on how we can, you could have handled this better and not become a fragile? Any idea? Yes. Seeking God, yes. Yes. Seeking the face of God. It may amaze you to know that religion religion is very important. There are times that your heart will be heavy, and if you go to God in whichever way that you serve Him, you will feel Him afterwards. Do you understand? And that is exactly what Mr. Jani needs. He is stressed. He needs to be stressed himself. That is exactly what he needs. Imagine if he had gone into, because he was going to, not because he cannot handle the situation, but pressure. You know when pressure comes, you just need to do it one at a time. One at a time, ease up. And if what you need is actually to engage in something that is beneficial for you and not something that will make you forget that. Imagine if you hang out with your friends on a football pitch every evening as a way of relaxation instead of taking drugs as a way of relaxation. Yeah. Yeah. Football. Yes, the issues are still there, but at the moment you are able to relax your heart. Now your heart has thinking it will be pumping for the right reason, excitement, good excitement. No, see, let me tell you, pressure, my dear, is a part of life. Pressure. Some people they work best under pressure. If that pressure is not there, they cannot deliver. Do you understand what I'm saying? They cannot deliver their best. For example, for me to do this slide, I've had information that I'm going to be doing this for like 2 or 3 weeks now. But it was when pressure came, my heart was like, Saturday is Saturday. That was when I started Saturday. Yeah, there are people like that. Do you understand? It will give you an opportunity to bring out your best. Because you know that I have to deliver. So we're not saying the pressure will all of a sudden. See, as one pressure is going, another pressure is coming. That's life. And one thing you should know is that the challenge that you surmount today is a stepping stone to greater things and bigger challenges. Yes. And there are challenges that as they come, that is what makes us alive. As they come, you surmount them. That's what keeps you going higher and higher in life. So even though the pressure is still there, you are pleased, okay, I'm okay. So let's it will clear your mind. For some people, they go taking a walk. One breeze blows on them, their minds are blank, they're able to think better. But once your mind is clouded, you cannot function properly. Do you understand? So, what will take from this story of Mr. Chani, these are case studies that addiction creates constant need for money. You find people stealing, go to go and fund that like hard drugs. Boys, children, girls that are into drugs, they will be stealing. You know addiction. If they don't have the money, they are looking for it. You must have seen it in movies. God forbid that we see, one on one. But you must have seen it in movies. Wrong influence can lead to wrong decision, and that was what happened to Israel. Then God used in first judgment. All he wanted was that drug to be okay. He cannot think of any other. He cannot function at that moment. Except he takes that thing. So we can go to the next one. So what is the impact of drug and fraud to us? How does it affect us? You can imagine your distributors that you have eaten the money, and maybe somebody from the company called, sir, well done, sir. Please, the balance of last month did not seem so. And you're like, I've given your sales rep. And say, when did you give? I gave him last week. Last week. You can imagine that kind of situation. Maybe your company now forgives you. Let's assume that, okay, you are able to bring back the money and your company forgives you. Do you know you have lost that person? That person can never give you money again. And maybe it's not even money. It can be any other thing. Do you understand? I'm just using money. Maybe you are the one to go and deliver the goods, but instead of delivering to him as promised, you did not. You took it to somewhere else that you feel you have a deal to cut. And then the person is calling the office, I've not seen him. They say, please release your book. So it happens anyway. Do you understand? So I'll just run through this because I'm going to be inviting Pastor Minette here to come and talk to us. So organization, we have revenue law, lots of market representation damage, legal issues. When you are under the influence of drugs, many things can happen that can bring legal issues for the company. Then imprisonment on the individual and career impact, reputation damage, financial impact. Okay, so this is our last slide. And these are preventive measures. Please seek good counsel. This madam here already said good counsel. Before you go to for advice, ask yourself for me to ask. Before you go and ask for advice, I know yes, problem have solved. But there are people that you will tell something to and the whole community has heard it. And that was not why, So sometimes before you meet somebody for advice, pray. Ask God for guidance. Try to pick up channels. If you see something, say something. Chairman has already said it earlier. If you see something, say something. Evil tries in secrecy. Anything that you are doing that you are hiding, it will be growing. Because it's more like you are incubating it. Incubation. But once you are able to say, see, I'm going through this challenge, and I feel like I should talk to you, you will guide me properly. You see that problems are being solved. Say a problem said is out of the problem house solved is when you are talking to the right person. There are people you can talk to and the problem will be solved. So, good employee wellness initiative. This one is for the organization. Where if they come to you, you are able to be human. Do you understand? Anything you do, you must put human face. I hope I'm talking to all of us. Anything you do, you must put human face. Always empathy. Put yourself in people's shoes and make wise decisions. Okay? Early reporting to center, hiding abuse of fraud, only worsening consequences. Then there should be strong internal control. That means there should be periodic audits so that things like fraud will not happen. So drug abuse and fraud destroys health, career, and business. It is not an option. They are preventable, discipline, integrity, and awareness. And always remember your greatest selling point is your integrity. It is worth more than money. Thank you very much.
Please put your hands together. Please put your hands together for SP Olivia Ijebuku. I have left a lot. So when you please can we have one out when you think you know it all sometimes and when you hear some certain things you begin to learn. And I will make a typical example before we move to the next facilitator. In the bid that you want to assist or help a colleague or a fellow colleague, at the end of the day, you will end up even sinking deeper than that person in trouble. This is not facade or fake. This is real. Even the person involved is here right now. There are certain things that will think somebody is trying to help you. Let me give you. See, let's be practical here. A fellow salesperson comes to meet you. Ah, hello, Tope. Ah, hello, Ngozi, Chioma. You know they sell pap for your region and the pap they sell. Quarter 2 kg that they sell. Where bring it? Let me help you sell. The person will collect the stock. The person will not pay you because you know the person is not even supposed to take that stock from you. You not ready to talk, and the debt is almost head, your own head. And this person is giving more. He's asking you, giving this to me, asking you, giving this to me. At the end of the day, nothing happened. I would relate this case to something that just happened recently, and it's one of the reasons why we are having this training. You people know our baby, right? I do baby checkers. So good see. As starters are baby. You can imagine if in just few months that we've launched the product, a sales rep has already embezzled about 5 point something million. It's okay. I don't see. Please, I'm not telling you whether it's a lie or not a lie. I can tell you right now that that person that says that currently is in minimum QBQ. Presently is in minimum QBQ. If you want to contact, ask those people to put it, they will tell you. Now, unfortunately for us, can I say this here? Unfortunately for us, I have to please. I just have 1 minute to speak. Unfortunately for us, the day of one of his trial, I was there. And guess what? This same guy has another case in the court, in another court, in another country. Hey. Listen to all of you. Listen. See, if looking amazing. Listen to everybody. If you don't know who you want to refer, please don't refer.